need to make sure that you guys help us get those numbers in and get that data in so we are able to highlight that. We're going for the gold, and we want to make sure that you are involved, everybody that's part of 1 million cups. I didn't say it in Spanish, pero lo puedo decir en español para los que no, que están en nuestra comunidad en español aquí. Queremos pedirles su ayuda para que nos ayuden a poder contar cada uno de ustedes y su presencia aquí en esta comunidad de 1 Million Cups. Y Daniel y el equipo van a dar un poco de información sobre eso, a cómo vamos desarrollando, crear un código para que ustedes se puedan registrar cada vez que vienen a cada miércoles. Por ahorita sí tenemos nuestras listas ya afuera. Por favor, no se vayan sin firmar para poder nosotros capturar esos números. Y si tienen una historia, se han presentado en 1 Million Cups, por favor hablen con el equipo, porque nosotros también queremos capturar esas historias y ver y darles el reconocimiento a esta comunidad que queremos que sea la comunidad número 1 en la nación de 1 Million Cups. Entonces, es lo único que quería decir. That's all I wanted to say. Enjoy 1 Million Cups today. We have two great presenters. Armando from our team is going to be leading 1MC. He used to lead 1MC before, you know, Daniel, and he will be leading the coordination today. So,
Mando, just wait a sec.
Thank you so much, Linda, for that introduction. Hello, folks. Thank you so much for coming to this session of 1 Million Cups. As Linda mentioned, my name is Armando Villarreal. I am the Economic Development Training Specialist in the Upper Valley for the UTRGV Entrepreneurship and Commercialization Center. I'll be your host today. First of all, right off the bat, we want to give a huge shout out to our coffee sponsor. They're not here in the building, but they're in spirit, so let's clap for them. It's AT&T Business from Brownsville. Thank you so much, AT&T Business, for providing those coffee cups today. A little bit about 1 Million Cups. So 1 Million Cups is a national community-based program. The core principle of the program is that many ideas and solutions can happen over a cup of coffee. And the more cups of coffee you have, you know, the bigger your chances are at finding those amazing ideas and solutions. In terms of the structure of the program, it's very free-flowing, it's very welcoming. Every week we invite two entrepreneurs from the community. They're here to share their story, tell us about who they are as a business owner, as a person, what drives them, what motivates them, the ups and downs. It's not a sales pitch, it's not a business pitch necessarily, though you do talk about your business, it's more about the story. That's the core principle of 1 Million Cups, sharing stories over a cup of coffee. The program happens every Wednesday at 9 a.m. And it's a national program, so communities such as this one are going on simultaneously throughout the country, all over the states. We belong to the Southwest region, and you know there's two other communities in the Upper Valley, McAllen and Alton. So that's a little bit on the 1 Million Cups. Since its conception, we've served over 4,725 cups of coffee. All of them, if not most of them, have been sponsored by the community. If you yourself want to get involved or get engaged with the 1MC community here in Brownsville, or want to sponsor cups of coffee or recommend us some coffee, you can always reach out to Daniel over there or some of the team members here at BCIC and UTRGV ECC folks. One more thing before we get everything going, be respectful, be mindful of the presenters, you know, be engaged with what they're saying, ask questions at the end, and it is working hours, so if you do need to take that phone call, we have phone booths in the surrounding areas. You can always step into the lobby and have those conversations, but do be engaged with what is being shared today. You know, they're giving their time, you're giving your time, so make the most out of it. Our first speaker, our guest speaker for today is Karen Elizondo and Ruben Maldonado. If we can have them come to the front and we can receive them with a huge round of applause.
Hola, buenos días. Ay, se oye muy fuerte. Mi nombre es Karen Elizondo y conmigo está mi esposo Rubén Maldonado. Muchas gracias por estar aquí, les agradecemos mucho el venir para escuchar sobre nuestro negocio. Nosotros somos K&R Soft Playland. Un poquito de nosotros, a mí siempre me gusta tener ese énfasis de que soy esposa, soy madre de dos pequeñitos que nos acompañan a todos lados. Tengo una maestría en social work. Tengo 8 años de experiencia trabajando con jóvenes. Antes de dedicarme tiempo completo al negocio, era consejera, era clinician en una compañía. Entonces, dices, ¿cómo de repente de clinician, verdad? Fue que tomé la decisión de emprender lo que es el negocio. Fue porque nuestra compañía cerró, la compañía en la que trabajábamos ambos cerró, después de muchos años que estaba en el negocio, ¿verdad? Cierra el año pasado, el 2025. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que nos lleva a crear K&R Soft Playland? Entre tanto pensamiento, entre ver de qué manera vamos a sacar adelante a nuestros hijos. En ese entonces nada más teníamos a nuestro pequeñito, pero a pesar de que no teníamos trabajo, teníamos mucha la ilusión de tener otro bebé, porque ya teníamos meses intentándolo. Entonces, de ahí pensamos, ¿verdad? ¿Qué me gusta? ¿Qué me gusta? Tengo 8 años de experiencia trabajando con jóvenes, entonces quería algo relacionado. Habíamos tenido una experiencia antes en el cumpleaños de nuestro niño, unos mesecitos atrás, de soft plays. Entonces, a la semana de estar desempleada, le dije a mi esposo, ¿sabes qué? Me gusta esta idea de los soft plays, ¿verdad? Nos gusta trabajar, tenemos años trabajando con niños, siento que esta idea es muy divertida. Se la planteé a mi esposo dijo, bueno, pues dale, ¿verdad? Dale, dije, sin saber absolutamente nada, no sabíamos nada de lo que conlleva sacar adelante un negocio, ni mucho menos imponerlo. O sea, para mí en mi mente era muy bonito decirle a mi esposo nada más, ¿sabes qué? Vamos a comprar el equipo y dale, lo rentamos, pues no pasa nada. Si no funciona, pues se lo regalamos al niño y ya, en mi mente, ¿verdad? Antes de seguirles platicando cómo fue que empezó, les voy a presentar qué son los servicios que brindamos. Tenemos soft plays, tenemos mesas y sillas para niños, tenemos bouncers, también bouncers para niños más grandes de obstáculos, tenemos bumper car tracks, ya tenemos merry-go-round y está por llegarnos más, ¿cómo se dice? El más equipo referente. Trampolines también tenemos. Estamos ubicados en Brownsville, pero servimos a toda la comunidad de RGV. Aquí es un poquito nosotros, todo se ve bien bonito, ¿verdad? Ahorita les voy a platicar. Empezamos, como pueden ver, nuestra camioneta, porque acuérdense que les dije que yo le dije a mi esposo, vámonos con el soft play, pues ordenamos un equipo de soft play, un set y un bouncer. Y creo que una mesa y 10 sillas, era todo. Pero ¿qué fue lo que pasó? Que se nos renta la mesa, las sillas y el equipo completo que habíamos comprado de soft plays. Entonces nosotros empezamos en nuestra camioneta, aquí pueden ver que traemos el equipo, la cajuela, hasta el tope. Aquí pueden ver mi niño atrás, casi estorbándole todo arriba de él, abajo, y aquí nosotros. Mi niña, esta es nueva porque acaba de nacer, tiene 3 meses. Entonces así empezamos con un solo set, una mesa y 10 sillas. Nos dimos cuenta, ¿verdad?, de que nos gustaba, pero teníamos ese conflicto de transportación. Nos hicimos de nuestra primera traila a los unos 2 meses de haber puesto nuestro negocio, y ahora sí, con más facilidad pedimos más equipo. Y es de esa manera la que hemos estado pudiendo llevar no solamente a Brownsville, sino en todo RGV nuestros servicios. En nuestra misión, en K&R Soft Play nos especializamos en diseñar áreas de juego infantiles de alta calidad. Más que rentar un equipo, transformamos cualquier evento en una experiencia inolvidable para los más pequeños. Nuestro enfoque es simple: entregar tranquilidad, creando espacios seguros, divertidos para los niños, respaldados por una logística impecable para que los padres puedan relajarse y disfrutar del evento de principio a fin. Entonces, ¿dónde entra? ¿Qué es lo que, por ejemplo, hacemos? No solamente llevamos el soft play, cuando quieran agendar, hablan conmigo. Yo soy la que decora, yo soy la que hace la decoración de globos, el diseño del equipo, la planeación. Trato de hablar con todos, traer la idea de las mamás y de los papás, porque aunque no lo crean, también un 20% que se comunica conmigo son papás y ellos traen a veces unas ideas mejores que las mamás. Entonces hacemos de todo, ¿verdad? El propósito para mí era ya no estar en esa oficina de 8 a 5 y poder tener con nosotros, ser una mamá presente, poder traer a mis pequeños. Por ejemplo, ahorita es un honor para mí poder estar presentando junto a mi esposo y traer a mis pequeños. Entonces ese es uno de los sueños que A&R me pudo brindar, a pesar de que amaba también mi carrera de consejera, ¿verdad? Ahorita estoy amando esta nueva pasión, que es brindar sonrisas a los jóvenes, cero estrés a los papás, porque la que se estresa soy yo y yo soy la que les planifica todo. Aquí, ¿cómo empezamos? Aquí pueden ver, esta es nuestra casa. Claramente pues no teníamos rentas, ¿verdad? Sacamos todo nuestro equipo lo sacábamos. No sabía decorar, no teníamos los softwares, porque acuérdense que empezamos comprando equipo, no sabíamos nada de marketing, no teníamos los softwares para promocionar, para hacer todas estas cosas de decoración. No sabíamos ni siquiera que el negocio se tenía que registrar ni reportar taxas. Si me están grabando, ya las reportamos, ya las estamos reportando. No sabíamos nada. No sé, yo pienso que para mí era tan bonita la idea de que hay un negocio bien padre, voy a estar con mis niños. Pero no, después mi esposo dijo: Karen, no nos cabe el equipo en la camioneta y tenemos que ir hasta McAllen. Nos hicimos de la traila. La señora que no le gusta quiere este otro diseño, y pues yo, ¿de dónde? Entonces tuve que educarme, tuve que tomar entrenamientos, los globos, me certifiqué, fui a clases, porque yo cero de decoración. Yo desde que me gradué, yo siempre he trabajado en oficina, entonces todo esto para mí fue muy nuevo, un reto para ambos, pero la verdad no lo cambiaría por nada. Aprendimos. Así empezamos, sacando nuestro patio por un lado, por el otro lado, todo para poder hacer lo que es la publicación. Y así es como estamos el día de hoy. Ya aprendí a hacer mis globos muy bonitos, lo que es la decoración, nos hicimos de más equipo, ya empezamos a implementar lo que es el diseño en vinil. También para nuestros soft plays vimos que el mercado ahorita era algo que nos lo pedían mucho, así que también de nuevo volverme a educar y aprender, ¿verdad?, de cómo hacerlo. Sí. Y pues me da mucha alegría, porque de haber empezado con un solo set, una mesa y 10 sillas, ahorita lo hemos estado expandiendo y hemos estado expandiendo, creciendo en mobiliario. Está por llegarnos este de las tacitas, tenemos nuestro merry-go-round, tenemos más sets, más bouncers, el de obstáculos, trampolines, y acabamos de ordenar más equipo. Entonces, nuestra meta es seguir creciendo, seguir dándonos a conocer. Ha sido un total reto, pero muy bonito. Al principio muchas lágrimas, porque aprendí a la mala a darme topes en la cabeza, porque no era tan bonito el pensar de querer a comprar y lo pongo y todos me van a hablar. nadie me conocía. Nunca se me va a olvidar y que la primera vez, ¿verdad?, que hablé con un cliente, tenía como una semana, me dijo el Señor, y esto me dolió mucho en mi corazón, ¿cómo te voy a agendar si no tienes muchos followers, si no tienes reviews? Para mí era, ay, sí es cierto, pues la verdad sí se ve súper spam, que todas las fotos estén en mi patio, que de un lado, el otro, enfrente y por atrás, o sea, dije, pues el Señor sí tiene mucha razón, ¿verdad? Dije, ¿de qué manera? ¿Qué podemos hacer? No sé, empezamos haciendo markets, que tampoco sabía que existía esto, nos empezamos a envolver en la comunidad, porque de nuevo, nosotros lo que hacíamos era un trabajo encerrados en la oficina, salíamos y a veces estaba el sol y a veces no. Entonces, es aprender desde cero, como les digo, decoración, marketing, me uní a la comunidad, algo que pues no había tenido el privilegio, pero pertenezco a un grupo de mompreneurs. Cada mes nos reunimos aquí en el centro y cada mes hacen ellos también un tema y ahí es donde yo he estado aprendiendo marketing, de todo, you name it. He sido, pues, aprendido desde abajo, poco a poquito creciendo. Ahorita me siento muy orgullosa de a dónde ha llegado. Hemos ido a ciudades que ni sabíamos que existían. Aquí en el RGB ya tengo reviews y Google Reviews, Facebook Reviews también. Ya nadie me toma como si fuéramos spam, gracias a Dios. Y más que nada la satisfacción de brindar tantas sonrisas. Para mí es como yo preparo el set y luego volteo a ver al papá y a la mamá como que, ¿te gustó? ¿Sí te gustó? Claro que ellos a veces están, la verdad, a la carrera y sí, como que sí, ya al último ya me dicen que sí, ¿verdad? Pero es muy satisfactorio lo que hacemos, pero también tiene desafíos. Y aquí es donde entra mi esposo a decirme como que espérate, Karen, tranquilízate. Y ahorita se los voy a pasar.
¿Qué tal? Buenos días. Mi nombre es Rubén, esposo de Karen. Para dejar claro, en ningún momento yo perdí mi trabajo. Este es el trabajo para el que no apliqué y recibí. ¿No? Cada vez que veo los memes de los esposos de las decoradoras, me identifico plenamente, ¿no? Siempre atrás nosotros de ellas corriendo, y el trabajo que no puedo renunciar, al que no puedo faltar, y que no me pagan a veces más que con el desayuno, la comida, ¿no? Los desafíos son ciertos y son muy claros, ¿verdad? En la mente las cosas siempre funcionan y siempre uno planea de principio a fin y uno tiende a generalizar, porque lo que ve en la pantalla muchas veces en las plataformas cree que así son las cosas, pero no es hasta que uno empieza a adentrarse en el mundo del negocio que realiza o se da una cuenta que no todo es tan perfecto, ¿verdad? Hemos tenido que sacrificar mucho tiempo en familia. La mayoría de las rentas son los fines de semana. Entonces, han habido fiestas de amigos, cumpleaños de familiares donde nos hemos tenido que salir, no hemos podido regresar, piñatas de mi niño que no ha podido asistir porque lo traemos con nosotros, por no tener ese siempre el apoyo, ¿no? que muchas veces la familia nos ha dado, que inclusive mi suegra, mi mamá, mis papás nos ayudan, pero obviamente el negocio es de nosotros dos y no nos gusta pasárselo a nadie. Entonces el tiempo en familia se ha sacrificado un poco. Estamos implementando un tipo de estrategia para tener ese tiempo, recuperarlo, ya sea un miércoles, un jueves, un viernes, una ida al parque, una ida simplemente a caminar. Entonces es algo que ponemos como prioridad ahora y que no queremos perder, que es el tiempo en familia. El espacio para el equipo. Creo que ahorita en mi garaje nada más hay un caminito así como donde cambia una persona. En cuanto hago un espacio, ella tiene algo que quiere poner ahí, ¿no? Entonces es complicado. El comedor también ya está lleno de pelotas. Entonces el espacio estamos batallando un poco, estamos encontrando soluciones. Mucha gente nos dice, renten un storage, ¿verdad? Pero a veces la dificultad del storage es que no lo tenemos ahí con nosotros. Entonces nosotros somos mucho de que el equipo tiene que estar limpio, presentable. Entonces lo limpiamos 2-3 veces por semana. Entonces la dificultad de ir al storage, traerlo, limpiarlo y regresarlo simplemente no es factible. La transportación, como dijo mi esposa, empezamos con la camioneta, cabíamos perfectamente el primer mes, el segundo mes ya no cabíamos tan bien, el tercer mes de plano ya no cabíamos, teníamos que dar varias vueltas y hasta la fecha hemos tenido que ir a McAllen, regresar, recoger, ir a San Benito, regresar, hacer las de Brownsville. Entonces, la transportación también se está complicando un poco. Estamos también trabajando en eso y primeramente Dios son algunas de las dificultades que vamos a estar resolviendo este mes. Y empleados, por el momento somos solamente la patrona y el ayudante, pero también ya pude convencer a mi cuñado, ¿no? Acaba de salir de high school y lo persuadí un poquito para que me ayudara. Creo que le di un poquito de lástima y se unió con nosotros. Entonces ahorita ya está con nosotros. Tenemos otra persona que también nos ayuda un poquito en la limpieza del equipo. Entonces vamos creciendo poco a poquito, pero antes que nada queremos tener la seguridad de que para poder ofrecerle a alguien un trabajo, que tengamos la certidumbre de que va a ser algo duradero y no nada más un fin de semana. Entonces, estos son algunos de los desafíos. Han habido muchos más, pero creo que juntos los hemos podido resolver durante el camino y la travesía de este negocio.
Pues muchísimas gracias. Gracias por su tiempo. Todo lo que les comentábamos es nuestra historia, cómo fue que empezamos, cómo es que gracias a Dios hemos ido creciendo. Se los agradezco mucho también por estar aquí. Y algo que no mencionamos, otros empleados no pagados es toda nuestra familia. Porque acuérdense que no siempre está bonito el día afuera. A veces está muy soleado, muy caliente para traer a los niños pequeñitos. Nuestra niña tiene 3 meses, entonces a veces es hablarle a nuestros papás y decirles que nos ayuden con los niños. Yo hablarle a mi mamá, a mi esposo, hablarle a su papá porque no cabe ni en su camioneta, ni en la trailer, ni en la mía y tenemos que pedir otra camioneta para poder transportar el equipo. Entonces todos tenemos, toda nuestra familia, empleados no pagados que nos ayudan bastante y nos sentimos muy felices, y también la comunidad. Si pueden, síganos. Este es nuestro Instagram y nuestro Facebook. Compartan nuestra página. Gracias a eso es que la gente nos ha llegado a conocer. Tanto como los markets, tanto las personas que nos han agendado, han compartido, ¿verdad? Que no somos un spam, porque a mí todo eso me duele que me dijeron. Entonces se los agradecería muchísimo que nos sigan y pues espero en un futuro poder brindarles de nuestros servicios, sus hijos, sus nietos, sus sobrinos, quien guste. You name it. Aquí estamos y muchísimas gracias.
Hay tiempo para una pregunta.
Ana.
No, it's okay.
You have an interesting balance where you say, we went into it not knowing a lot of these elements, but you still went into it and jumped.
Yes.
As a founder, how do you balance that, I need to learn more versus, let's just do it? How do you jump into that?
I think she's a brain. She's, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. Let's buy this. Hey, I look at Facebook and this is a new equipment, that is now, is a sensation out there, but usually I'm the one pressing on the brakes, like, hey, give it a thought, we got to do some research as far as, the price, the sustainability of the product as far as, is there a market for it? Is it just someone that, decided to buy it and, is gonna stay in the garage for, I don't know, maybe 3 months, right? And no one's gonna rent it. So, we do a little bit of research. We go around, we start looking at different platforms and social media. So usually that's the way we go. We just don't buy anything because we want to buy it we have to sit down and realize that that's something that, you know, the community, the market, people that, you know, the people from the valley is going to take advantage from, you know. So, you know, we try to keep a balance, right? Because to be honest with you, our budget, you know, for this type of equipment, you know, is limited. You know, it's not cheap. You know, in the United States, the software equipment, the basic set, you know, goes from $2,500 to $4,000. So, you know, many times we have to order overseas, but it takes 3 months to get here, you know, maybe at 70% off the price. So, yeah, in that matter, you know, we just try to keep it balanced where we realize what we can afford and what we can provide, you know, to the community.
Time, folks.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem, no problem. Thank you so much, Karen and Rubén, por compartir su historia con nosotros. Estamos muy agradecidos porque se hayan tomado el tiempo de venir aquí y compartir con la comunidad. Up next, we have our next guest speaker. I don't want to butcher the name, so I will just say your last name, Santanilla.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Well, my name is Katie Santillana, and I'm very grateful to be here today. I thank God for being here, and the 1 Million Cubs, the E-Bridge, for having these opportunities for us to come out and share what we're all about, and how we are, or we stand where we stand, and who made us more than anything, right? I'm very proud of what I've done throughout my life, my family, having God in my life more than anything. That's the first step to me, and I'm very blessed for that. So today I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, Katie Santillana. I represent 3 brands currently. I think that's the biggest thing, is who you are, who you represent, and how you represent it. Okay, so currently I am the district manager for Advanced Auto Parts. I've been in the automotive industry for about 13 years or so. I will now be speaking individually. I also am the owner of SNS Complete Solutions. It's a construction company. And I am the owner of Hat Bar by Carisma Boutique. So I juggle all this, I juggle my family, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about me. So a little bit, I can tell you I'm a couple of months shy from my 5th decade, and I'm very proud. I can't wait to turn 50. So I'm about 6 months away, and I have a big party coming up, so I'm excited about that as well. But I'm gonna tell you a little bit of what each decade has put me through. Okay, because we can go all the way back, and we have dreams when we're kids, right? Oh, I want to be a doctor, I want to be this, I want to be that. But I want to tell you that when I was 7 years old, I grew up 12th Street, 13th Street, and Taylor, a couple of blocks down. Downtown Brownsville was like our, oh my God, we're going somewhere, we're going downtown. Right? That's big. This was one of my stores. This was an island. I can tell you exactly how it was set up. It had an electronic setup back here. It had some metal bins. I can tell you how this store was set up back in the 80s and 90s. My aunt, she worked at El Corte Inglés. I don't know if you all know who that is, back stores. But she used to be a cashier. My mom and I used to walk. We walked from Taylor Street down to Elizabeth. And we would bring her lunch, or we would bring her, or my mom came shopping. So this was a store. It had everything. It had fabrics, it had home goods, it had a little bit of everything. And every time I would come, guess what I would do? I would see the bins of the nail polishes. I would be arranging them, right? I would see something out of place. I would be fixing it. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things that I didn't even know back in then, that I was already an entrepreneur, right? In my mind, I didn't know, right? Because we're young, we don't know that. So, but I was doing it. In my first decade, 14 years old, I had to help my mom become head of household, right? My father got ill back in the day. I mean, we didn't have the resources we have now. And I had to help her. I had to help her bring that money into the house. So by the age of 16, I was already a Mary Kay consultant. One of my friends' mom was selling Mary Kay, and she said, "Hey, so Katie, would you like to buy some of this product?" And then I was listening to her pitch, and I'm like, well, you know what? I go to school, there's teachers, there's students. Can I sell for you? And she's like, sure. So I was making money at 14, 15, 16 years old off Mary Kay. You know what I mean? She would pay me a percent. And I said, you know what? I like this. I would pitch it to my teachers, hey, come on, buy for me. You know what I mean? Like this and that. I would also sell stuff in school. I would fill up my backpack I would go to Matamoros across the street, buy Mexican candies, and I always had something, hey, I'm hungry, hey, you know what, I have a couple of chips here, chips there. I have these tamarindos, you know what, do you want to buy some? I have some in my backpack. So I always try to figure it out to make some of the money, right? At 17, I became a mom with my son. He'll be 31 soon. And that changed a lot of things in my life. You know what I mean? I look back to see where my parents came from. They were hardworking, paycheck by paycheck. You know what I mean? I don't know how back then they could live on a $250 paycheck per week. We can't do that now, right? So I said, oh my God, like, how did they do it? I don't want to be in that position. You know what I mean? I don't want to be living paycheck by paycheck, right? This was throughout my thoughts. And I said, you know what? I had my son. I graduated from high school. My first job was across the street at Aramark Services in the university, and I took it from there. So, and then I began working in the retail world. I don't know if you know what Montgomery Wards is, at Amigoland Mall a long, long time ago. By my second decade, I had my second child. She's here with me today, my grandbaby, and a new grandbaby to be here in a couple of weeks. But by the age of 21, I was already working at Montgomery Wards, and I was running a multi-million-dollar jewelry department. People say, oh, you work for a jewelry department. I'm like, no, ma'am, this is worth $3 to $4 million because that's what's my inventory. So I changed my way of thinking or seeing things and put a category of value, right? Because I'm not just an employee. I'm running a multi-million-dollar department. What are you running? What is your department worth? So that changed me on how I saw things and what I wanted to become. I never let anybody not see my goals or see where I wanted to get. And I've had hurdles, let me tell you. There's a lot of people out there that see you move and then they're like, whoa, where did she come from? Or how did she get there, right? And it's work and it's ambition, being ambitious about something. And that helped me. In my second decade, I did a lot of things. Like I said, I worked with Montgomery Wards. That was my first job. And then I grew and I wanted to better, and I want to better myself. I wanted better positions. I'm in the retail world, right? From there, Montgomery Wards closed and we didn't have a choice, right? But I'm out of a job. What am I going to do? So Marshalls came into town in that era. It was in 2001, I believe. And there was ladies that had worked for Montgomery Wards for years, 15, 20 years, 30 years. They've been there for a lifetime. So they were all applying because they came and recruited us. Here I am. I had only been a couple of years in that position, and they were for sure or knew that they were going to get the positions, right? But it doesn't work like that. They looked at what you want to do for that company. What can you do for that company, right? So then from there I grew. From there I moved to Best Buy. I was a loss prevention manager for Best Buy for a couple of years. Then I got recruited by Kmart, actually. I didn't add it, but there was a manager for loss prevention in Kmart that would see me because I'm at the door at Best Buy and greeting customers, looking at things. And she saw me. She said, like, hey, I've been coming by and I've been seeing how you interact with customers. You want to come work for Kmart? And I'm like, okay, what do you have to offer? More money? Okay, I'm gonna go there. And this is what I know how to do. I know how to work cameras, blah, 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 right? From there I moved to Home Depot because she moved to Home Depot. And she was the loss prevention manager for Home Depot, and she said, to Katie, I'm gonna come back for you. And I'm like, well, I'll be here waiting, right? And she did, she came through. She's one of my mentors to this day. Her name is Bobby Alejos. And she's already in the retired world, but she did loss prevention for over 30 years, and I learned a lot from her. So that was part of it, right? And I'm like, okay, this is something different, right? I was able to tackle people and do a lot of things in that time of my life. In my third decade, I became the district loss prevention manager for Home Depot, and we would travel throughout the valley. We had Corpus, we had Laredo, we would audit stores, do a lot of things. So that helped me open up my span of what I do and what I learned throughout, because every city is different, people are different, and we have to adapt, right? From there, my third decade, like I was saying, in my previous marriage, we opened up a restaurant. It was El Punto restaurant. So I'm working. We have this adventure of opening a restaurant, right? The restaurant business is not easy. You know what I mean? You're not gonna see no capital right away. It takes time. And I have some of my friends here from Space Fish, which owns restaurants, and I have other friends here as well that they know what that's all about. That didn't stop me. I changed jobs with Home Depot. I wanted to expand, and I opened Charisma Boutique, which is what Hat Bar has a name for. This was in 2013. I changed from Home Depot. I said, I'm gonna go on my own. I'm gonna see what I can do. I opened up my clothing boutique. It was a consignment shop. Everybody loved it, right? 60-40, I will sell the items for you. I'll promote them for you. You just bring me the items and I'll get you cash. So that was my idea back in the day. Things happened in my life. I went through a divorce. My dad got sick. I couldn't take care of job, work, everything. It was a little bit stressful. So I said, hey, you know what? Something's got to give. We're going to lose. No matter. We'll close the doors. Something will happen in the future with this. From there, I moved on to Ross. And then I moved on to Advanced Auto Parts, where I'm at now. And I'll talk a little bit more, like I said, about that. My fourth decade, I became the district manager for Advanced Auto Parts. Around 12 stores now. It was 16, but now 12. Valley-wide, it's a multi-million-dollar. I'm going to tell you, over $20 million in sales. That's what my position is worth right now, and what I'm able to run. And coming up to my fifth decade, it's in my drawing board. I already know what I want. I want to know that I want to be 60 and I want to live off my businesses, what I own. I enjoy my family because I love to travel. So it's hard to do it, right? And how do I manage, right? And I'm here talking about all this stuff, but I'm going to go into little details. So Advanced Auto Parts right now, like I said, it's a multi-million dollar department. I've been with Advanced for 13 years. I love what I do. You know what I mean? If you don't love what you're doing, then you're in the wrong business. If you don't wake up in the morning and say, oh my God, you know what, I plan my day because I have a lot of things, because I run multi-million-dollar businesses. I have my own businesses. You know what I mean? Like, how do I manage? You know what I mean? This is a lot. But you have to put it into perspective of what your day, who's gonna run your day? Is a day gonna run you, or you're running your day? So that's one of the things. This is a high-level leadership role. I oversee the business operations, the financial parts of it. Okay, I have 12 stores, over 160 team members. That in that position, I hold the cap of manager, HR, partnerships, business, because we have both DIY, we have pro, right? We deal with a lot of the retail shops that we service. So how do I manage that, right? And how do I do it? And I'll tell you here at the end in a little bit. My second business that I've had for 9 years, it's SNS Complete Solutions. With SNS Complete Solutions, I'm the owner-operator, right? We service multi-services. We do construction, we do welding, we do landscaping, and it's big, right? Because every day you need to cut your grass. This is a business that's never gonna stop. You're always gonna need something in construction, repair. So that was one of the reasons why I decided to add this to my belt of pins that I do throughout the community and in my life. So we offer a one-stop key turn, right? We get your business ready, we ask what you need, we do the solutions. By managing this triple requires a lot of elite scheduling. You know what I mean? I talked about scheduling early. What am I gonna do throughout my day? I work full time. So when do I fit this in my lunch hour, in early in the morning, late in the evening, right? And what resources do I have? I have the partnership of my partner. He's the foreman. His name's Oscar Silguero, that runs our business. He's the one that does all the hard work. I'm just the one that invoices, gets our orders, or looks for those jobs. We're posting. I also didn't know a lot about this stuff, like K&R was talking about, Karen, right? I looked into what I could do. Okay, what do I need, right? When I first started, my business was not an LLC. It was just a sole proprietor, right? I didn't know much. Now it's an LLC. Now I'm insured, I'm bonded, you know what I mean? Like a lot of things that people don't see what needs to be done in a business, right? So that's having the partnership of Oscar that has helped me a lot. The last one is what I love. This is one of my favorites. The hat bar came out of an idea with my friends and I went last year to Fredericksburg. And they had hat bars over there. I've done Austin, they had hat bars over there. I went to Houston, they had hat bars. And I'm like, the Valley doesn't have a hat bar, right? And we started by a group of friends going out there and we saw it and hey, why don't we bring it down to the Valley, right? This is something that we can do here. Nobody's done it. It started about a year ago. We started in markets and it just grew from there, knowing people, you know what I mean? The hat bar specializes in custom burn hats and unique designs, okay? So nobody's gonna have a hat like yours. And we make sure that we do the precise detailing in it, okay? We blended retail, giving customers the interactive, right? Because I deal with that customer. I'm like, hey, what do you need? What color are your boots? What are you gonna wear it with? Where are you gonna wear it? So it's touching and personalizing the need of that customer, right? So we create and design the experience that the customer is gonna leave, because at the end of the day, who's paying? In all my 3 businesses, or everything I do, who's paying? Your customer. So what experience are you gonna give that customer, right? So it's not just to create a product, right? Or an image of your business. It's how to create a memory for that individual, that customer, or that group, because we do a lot of things value-wide. So these are my 3, right? My 3 babies, I call them right now. But in all and everything, I was talking to some of the ladies right now, how do I manage this, right? How did I get here? You know what I mean? It was not easy, let me tell you. I had money put away in my 401 with my first business, and I said, hey, it's away for a reason. I prayed over it. What is this gonna take me to? And say, let's go. Let's invest in this. I borrowed from my 401 that obviously I paid back because it was a loan, and it has paid off because I pay myself back. That's something that I recommend, that always have that backup, have that savings, have money set up for something, maybe an emergency. Well, this was not an emergency, but it was an emergency to me. I wanted to do something different. But I put 3 takeaways for you guys, okay? It's not easy. Like I said, it was a lot of hard work. The hat bar was a lot of hard work. Really soon to opening, I'm on Washington Street, 1128 East Washington Street, right next to Rutledge Burgers. I'm in my last little details to have my grand opening, so pray for me for that, because it's soon to come. But I wanted to give you 3 takeaways. It says, number 1 is, this is what I live by, and everything that I do. Treat your word as an obsolete covenant, right? In business, your reputation is your highest currency. To build a highly respected brand, integrity must guide every contact, every promise, and every handshake. So what does that talk about you? How I present myself, what I do. I'm proud of what I do. I'm not afraid. You know what I mean? Those are the words that we have to make sure that we constantly say, hey, I can do this. I will do this. I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna get there, but I'm gonna get there, right? The second is to prioritize people over profits. That's the secret to your blessing, right? Because a lot of times we become greedy and we say like, oh no, how much money can I get from this person? hey, you set your prices. This is what it is. A lot of people might like them. A lot of people might not like them. But you do what you have to do to be a service, right? A blessed business is one that acts as a pipeline of good for others, right? How can I best serve this person with this atmosphere of your business, and everything completely changes if you have that in your heart, right? Serve by taking care of people and give back. How do I do that, right? That doesn't mean I'm giving them my money, but I can give them my time. I can share my friend's post, you know what I mean? That's free. It doesn't cost us anything. You know what I mean? And obviously there's competition. There's cake for everybody. I say the sun comes up for everybody. And you know what? We bless them and say, hey, you know what? I wish you the best in your business. I know it's going to prosper. And that will come back to you with prosperity. The last one is embrace adaptivity with true humility, right? It's the path to prosperity. So the market changes constantly, and we need to stay prosperous. And then it requires the willingness to learn, like Karen was talking a little while ago. Hey, like, I didn't know anything about this. Hey, look it up. There's nothing better than the YouTube University. Trust me, they tell you everything. Now we have ChatGPT, AI, like there's all these platforms that we can now use to get us information, right, of what we need. And then the pivot or the grow without letting go of your ego, right? That's the way to go. Because the minute ego hits your soul, it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. It doesn't let you be who you truly are, or it doesn't let others see who you are. And my final thought on this, a truly prosperous and blessed business isn't just measured by the number on the bottom of the ledger, okay? It's measured by the pride you and your team take in their work, the smiles that you provide your customers when they experience your service, and the lasting legacy of good you leave in your community. So this is what I live by. This is me. You know what I mean? Why? Because this is going to take me further. And I recommend for you guys to look at what your legacy will be. What legacy am I going to leave my grandbabies? You know what I mean? What do they know about me? What was my children the same way? You know what I mean? I'm big in my community. I do a lot of community events with Advanced Auto Parts. We service the community. I'm part of the Rotary Club of the Historic Brownsville. I'm a special commissioner for the Cameron County Court System. You know what I mean? I was just invited to be part of the board members for Big Heroes. So, I mean, where do I fit all this? You know what I mean? I live by my planner. I was telling them, I'm already booked through September, October. But what do I do different? It's on me, and it's on you, what you want to do for the future, what legacy you want to leave your family. What do you want to be remembered as? And you know what? Support your friends. Support that person selling apples on Facebook. Share their post. It's free, right? I look at a lot of the things that I do. I try to see, okay, what's going to cost me $0? How can I move my businesses? Sharing, posting, making videos. You know what I mean? There's a lot of opportunities now. And how are we going to do it? It's up to you. You make it or you break it, right? And carrying all these cabs, I do sleep. Let me tell you, because I was asked earlier if I sleep or not. I do sleep, and I sleep really good at night because I know that I did something for somebody today. I treated a customer right, whether it was in my retail world or in one of my businesses, you know what I mean? I helped out a friend, you know what I mean? Or be there. And I think there's something that we can give that doesn't cost you anything, and it's your time. Your time will be the biggest thing that you can share with people, and if you do it with a good heart, it will come back in a good heart. So that's what I have today.
Let's do one question just to round it up.
Any questions? Yes, sir.
How many hours do you sleep?
I do sleep about 7 or 8 hours, so I manage it pretty good. Any other questions?
You have the last question, and I think that's what
I think there was one over there.
Oh, no, let's
Yes, ma'am. So I go based on my planner. I have my planner on my phone. I sync it to my phone. I sync it to my personal work. I already know what I'm going to be doing. I already know where I'm going to and what stores I'm going to be throughout the week. Right in my retail job, I work a lot of my businesses after my retail. So after 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock, I'm already scheduling, okay, I have an appointment, I'm gonna be doing this, it's in my planner. Because I do a lot of markets, I do a lot of events, I travel to San Antonio. I love to travel, that's the other thing I mentioned. I make sure I include that in my planner. And I'm already ahead all the way up to September. So if you plan, and like I said, you're gonna have to pivot sometimes too. Because something didn't go your way, this morning it was pouring, you know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do different? You have to have that mentality and not let it get to you or, oh, it's an obstacle. Don't see it as an obstacle. Okay, how am I gonna fix that obstacle? How am I gonna change it? How am I gonna manage it? So I think that's what it is. It's having that planner and making sure, because I also take care of all the finances in my home. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that we do as a head of household, right? But it's managing it and putting it on paper and knowing where you're going to be, when you're going to be there. And let me tell you, sometimes I forget. They invite me to an event or something and, oh shoot, I didn't put it in my planner, then I don't know what's happened. But that's the biggest thing.
I think the last one that we usually close it with is how, I mean, you mentioned how you help the community. How can we as a community help your business or your ventures?
So I think the biggest thing is by sharing, right? Using our platforms. SNS Complete Solutions is on Facebook. If you go to my name, Katie Santillana, all my businesses are right under my name. Okay, that's the biggest thing. Having that portfolio of who you are, sharing your QR codes with your businesses, that's big. There's not a business or a market or a place I go to that I don't carry either my cards. I have the QR code for my shops, for my hat bar, for my SNS Complete Solutions as well. Hey, go ahead and can you leave me, like they were talking about the reviews. Google reviews is huge. Having somebody, hey, please let them know how I took care of you, because I want them to know the experience you received. So that's big, sharing that information. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Santillana, for sharing your story with us today. One more time, let's give it up for our coffee sponsor of today, AT&T Business in Brownsville. Thank you so much. They are here in spirit. I want to recognize Humberto. He's an organizer for the 1MC in McAllen. Thank you so much for joining us. He's coming all the way from McAllen. And just out of my own curiosity, do we have any more people outside of Brownsville visiting today? Anyone outside from Brownsville, Upper Valley? Harlingen? All right, that's awesome. Anyone else from outside? Oh, go Harlingen. That guy over there, where are you from? Japan. Hey, I think that's our farthest away visitor we've ever had, man. Congratulations.
You get a badge.
You get an imaginary badge. Anyone else from outside Brownsville? All right, folks. Thank you all for joining us. This is a weekly program, so we'll see you again next week. But a little bit of housekeeping. We have a business development program here at eBridge, run by UTRGB, sponsored by BCIC. It's called the Business Academy. It's a once a week for 7 weeks business development program that takes you to different phases and elements of what it takes to make a business: financing, the legal aspect, management, leadership. Who has taken the Kaufman Fast Track or the Business Academy here at eBridge? Raise your hands. I see some current members in the back. Thank you so much. Over there, some people. This is an amazing program. Not only do you go through a national curriculum, but you also meet with entrepreneurs in your community. It makes business real, and you connect with local resources. So if you're interested on structured business development curriculum program, this is your spot. It's based and structure based on research and studies of the best practices of business in the U.S. So yeah, it's a lot of self-initiative type work with structured curriculum and local resources. If you're interested in that, we'll leave up the slide there. It's completely free through a sponsorship by BCIC. So take advantage of it. This program happens on a cyclical basis. So if you can't get on right now, maybe on the next one. Huge one also. Remember to sign in the front if you haven't signed in already. And I believe there's a QR code flying around. Daniel over there will help you out with the QR code. It's of high importance that you sign for us. It shows that there is a community, that there's good work going on here in Brownsville, and that the community backs it up. And that's it for today. I used to be an organizer, so this has been a pretty cool experience again. I used to be an organizer like a few years ago, so this has been a great trip down memory lane. Thank you, Daniel, for the opportunity. He's your usual MC, so he's the face you'll see more often, but I am thankful for the opportunity. Let's give it up for Daniel. And that's it, folks. Thank you so much for coming on behalf of BCIC, UTRGBCC, and everyone here at eBridge. Have a wonderful day.